I really wasn't going to make a video about this. I really didn't want to, but the more I think about it, the more I feel as if it needs to be said. I know I made a video about FNAF a couple months ago. Basically, it was just me explaining how FNAF will never end. But now I'm even more mad about this series now that this new game, Secret of the Mimic, is out. Secret of the Mimic is literally what happens when a franchise outlives its own logic and becomes a parody of itself. It's not a horror game, it's not a mystery game, it's slop. It's slop they release and slap the title Five Nights at Freddy's on the front so people will continue to buy it. This should say a lot since it's called Five Nights at Freddy's and Freddy doesn't even make a single appearance in the game once. They call it Five Nights, but the whole game takes place in one single day, let alone a few hours. Speaking of a few hours, that's how long it takes you to finish the entire game. It literally took me about 4 hours to beat, which honestly, it's a very short game, which is fine. But the fact that it costs $40 is absolutely absurd. Well, unfortunately for me, this game may be short, but it's still long enough for me to not be able to get a refund on Steam, apparently. Well played, Steelwool. You got me there. The real secret behind the Secret of the Mimic is that this game sucks. And we're all mimics for pretending like this game was any better than FNAF World. Now, hold on. Let's slow it down here for a second. Why am I so mad? Well, take a look at the gameplay. Believe it or not, this game is not Poppy's Playtime. This is Five Nights at Freddy's. The entire game doesn't even look like Five Nights at Freddy's. It doesn't feel like Five Nights at Freddy's. I mean, it looks like gameplay straight out of Poppy's Playtime. Now hold on, as I said before, let's remind the audience that this is a Five Nights at Freddy's game. The series started because a man killed like 4 kids or something, put them in an animatronic suit, the kids' spirits possess the animatronics, they try to kill you, you're the security guard, blah blah blah. Fast forward to 2025. Just because that incident has happened, this is what the series has become. You're telling me this is FNAF now. What is this? What is this? What is this? Where are the answers? And I said this before. I said it a million times, where are the answers? And it gives you nothing every time. Do you see how far off course we have come to the real thing? The whole idea. At this point, stop calling it Five Nights at Freddy's, because Secret of the Mimic is not Five Nights at Freddy's. This is like if Call of Duty turned into a Mario game. I don't get it. How can Call of Duty be turned into a Mario game? How the hell did Secret of the Mimic become Five Nights at Freddy's? It's not. It's an entirely different thing. Whatever the series has become, it's not FNAF anymore. It's a complete pile of slop thrown together with no answers, nothing but questions, and then you sprinkle in a little lore to get people invested into it, and then boom, you have the next FNAF game. I even said in the last FNAF video, isn't that like a huge part of like the game? Like, why wasn't Bonnie in the game and you find him on the ground? Who Bonnie? We'll never know. We'll never know. Maybe we will one day. Maybe the next game will give me every single answer I have ever asked for this entire series. But it didn't. It just left me with more disappointment. And the fact that I have been invested into this series since the beginning up to this point, and it's just continuously getting worse and worse with the disappointment and no answers to anything. Now hold on, let me explain. Reel it back. They took the idea of a robot, gave it the most uninspired backstory possible. It mimics people, and that's scary because the robot is bad. That's it. That's the big, scary threat. It's not threatening, it's laughable. This thing is dressed up as a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic reject. Where's the horror? William Afton at least had motives, personality, mystery to him. I mean, the Mimic is just some Terminator ripoff who likes to play dress up. And this whole, oh, you have to read the book to understand the game thing is really getting old, because no, I shouldn't have to read a book to play a video game. Harry Potter has freaking games out. I don't need to read all 17 books to understand what's going on in those games. So I don't see what the problem is here. Let me calm down. Secret of the Mimic is what happens when you try to milk a franchise dry with no understanding of what made the franchise great in the first place. It's boring. It's completely tone deaf to what FNAF is supposed to be. The only horror here is that they created is the horror that they did to the lore. Not only that, no one can explain the lore in under 8 hours anyway. Honestly, if you think about it, someone could explain the entire FNAF lore to you and you'd be finished with Secrets of the Mimic faster than they could have ever started the lore on FNAF 2. The game is that short. And don't get me started on the endings. Secret of the Mimic endings are so... I don't get it. I don't understand how is this an ending? One of the endings, you're driving away and somehow the Mimic suddenly spawns on top of your car. You crash, he takes your little device things that open the door, and then he walks off. Okay, whatever. I don't know what ending that is. I don't know if it's canon. I don't know if it's the bad ending. I don't care if it's the screw you ending. I don't care. It's an ending, okay? So let's go to the next. Maybe the next one's better. The other ending is literally the same thing, except the Mimic is now in your back seat. Like, okay, whatever. There's always a secret, a real, and a whatever ending. Okay, I understand. The other ending, the Mimic literally comes out of the closet and you have to tell him a bedtime story. Then it slowly turns into a child and goes to sleep. Am I reading this right? Am I reading this right, man? Look at the ending to Sister Location, right? Remember when you got scooped and they took your skin and what the hell's his name? What's his name? Ennard takes over your entire body, and then you slowly start to decompose as Ennard's like using your skin, and then all this other stuff happened. That was an ending. Now that is an ending. And if we're gonna talk about endings, let's talk about the pizzeria ending. Everybody knows that ending because it's so iconic. That would have been the perfect send-off to this series. But then they're like, wait a minute, if we end this series, how are we gonna make money? Well, let's just spit in the face of everybody who cared about the series and throw out more slop. And that's how we have this game today. Now, hold on, let me relax. Let me explain. Compare the ending to Secret of the Mimic. Compare these endings to every other FNAF game. I mean, it compares to be nowhere on par with these other FNAF game endings. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you understand why this series is no longer FNAF? Like, I'm watching the developers drag their feet and make the most lazy, uninteresting FNAF game in the entire series. But hold on, now speaking of the developers, Steel also made FNAF Security Breach. Personally, I love that game, but I'm not gonna sit here and defend the fact that it's terrible. It's broken. Broken isn't even the right word for it. It's unfinished. When it first came out, even till now, I'm sure, you can only play about 30 seconds and run into about 19 glitches and bugs. I mean, it's only been out since 2021 and it's still broken? But that's fine, they already took our money, so I guess the joke's on us. But move on to the next game. And again, listen, I love Security Breach, but I'm not sitting here and I'm not going to defend it. It's not finished, it's broken, and it's stupid. But one thing I can say that Security Breach and the DLC gave me is that it made it feel like it was a FNAF game. If you sat someone down and had them play the entirety of Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, they would have no idea what they're playing until someone mentions the name Freddy Fazbear. Seeing this series at its prime up until the big 2025, just seeing how blown out of proportion this series is becoming is absolutely nothing more of a tragedy. I mean, surely I can't be the only one who feels this way, because whatever charm FNAF had in the past, man, it's completely gone. I really don't know how else to explain it. I mean, I said it before, and I'll say it again. This is a series that just will never end. It makes too much money, and whatever dignity it had left, it's gone. It's been gone. It's like watching The Simpsons in 2025. They were funny in the 90s. Hell, they were funny in the early 2000s, maybe the 2010s, but we're in 2020 and the show is still going. We're running out of ideas. Let the show end. And I think a lot of people can agree with that. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. But let's be honest, everything runs its course. It can't go on forever, but this is a series that I believe it just won't end. It just won't end. I mean, I don't think this series will get worse from here. but it seems as if we're only going downhill, and we're going downhill fast. And it's disappointing to say, because I had high expectations and high hopes for Secret of the Mimic. I really did. But at the same time, I mean, it's overpolished, it's horror slop, it's saying it's horror is a joke itself. The game's not even remotely scary. The jump scares are all expected. There's no tension at all. There's not even an eerie vibe throughout the entire game. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I always felt like a good Five Nights at Freddy's game, you would need, at some point, use the cameras. That was the thing. That's what made the game scary. That was just the icing on the cake. In some type of way, there would always be cameras involved. Almost every FNAF game you play involved using security cameras and having that feeling that you're being hunted down. That pressure, that tension is what made the game good. In Secret of the Mimic, I didn't feel that fear at all. I mean, Secret of the Mimic is just unnecessary chase scenes and a very easy to hide and run away from Mimic. I mean, I believe surely this game would make me feel like FNAF is FNAF again. I mean, come on. Instead of something new and fresh, it gave me nothing. In the next game, after Secret of the Mimic, whenever that will be, I mean, all my hope and expectation is gone. I believe it's just gonna be the same hollow nothingness slop just thrown at a wall again. I mean, as I said before in my last FNAF video, I was just making a joke, explaining how the series will never end. Now, like, I wasn't being that serious with it. I mean, okay, whatever. Clearly the series ran its course and now they don't know what they're doing. But now I'm like, are we for real? This is like really a series that will never end. As long as it's making steel wool money, I mean, the series will continue to go on forever. They're just gonna continue to put out the nonsense, and all they have to do is slap the title Five Nights at Freddy's at the beginning so people like me will continue to buy it. I mean, in conclusion, if you were lucky enough to not buy Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, do yourself a favor and spend your money on literally any other FNAF game that Steel Wool didn't put their hands on, because this series is very quickly becoming a hollow parody of itself, which is the only thing scary about this game. So in the end, the real secret of the Mimic is that this game sucks. But what do the people think? I want to hear the audience's comments on this. Is this game good? Am I an idiot? Am I stupid? Am I a big dumbhead? Am I a... Let me know down in the comments. I don't know, y'all. How we all feeling about this game? That's just how I'm feeling about it. It is what it is, but whatever. That's it.